We are currently on a road to 5,000 subscribers, so if you want, please like and subscribe. So if you are a fan of my channel, you would know of my love for Heatblast and flame users as a whole. So I wanted to put him up against one of my favorite characters from My Hero Academia, Dabi.
I mean, he's got cool flames too. What more do you really need from me?
Well, enough about that, let's just get into the fight. It starts with their physical strength and speed. Dabi can keep up and overwhelm Endeavor and Shoto at certain times, even mimicking their moves to be stronger. This gives a simple baseline, but both of them are pretty strong. Both Shoto and Endeavor at best should physically upscale a weaker Deku, who can split Dark Might's ship, which has a calc ranging to 11.78 petatons or multi-continental. This is consistent as they could all hurt a weaker Shigaraki, who is also stated to be as powerful as All Might in his prime. As well, Endeavor could tank Shigaraki's air cannons that was calculated to 97 petatons. Dabi would upscale both Shoto and Endeavor with this and would show a higher level of durability and firepower compared to them, since, you know, he had to be fighting all of them. Even when going overboard, he was more hurt by his own flames than either of theirs. Dabi would also upscale their speeds, which should be comparable to reacting to lasers, the air cannon attacks, and can keep up with characters who can move at speeds dodging radio waves, easily granting relativistic reactions and combat speeds, with the high ends and calc stacking reaching FTL combat speeds. But what's his firepower like? Well, his heat is hotter than Endeavor's, who could incinerate a Nomu, who should have 10 times the heat resistance of an average person. With cremation levels reaching 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, or 982 degrees Celsius, we could argue Endeavor's, and by extension Dabi's flames, are 10 times this, which would be around 80% hotter than the surface of the sun, which is pretty impressive, but how does Heatblast compare to this? In terms of power, his 11-year-old self could match Malware better than an entire race of galvanic mechamorphs, all of which could pull together Galvan B, which is the size of our moon 6 times over. This is actually consistent since Malware in his first form could tank and absorb energy to destroy it all. But since Ben's aliens get stronger over the course of time, as shown by Diamond Head scaling to Vilgax, his physical strength would be at least 10 times stronger by this time. Reaching small planetary levels of power, his speed is also pretty impressive as well, as he can blitz around the weather monster, and has statements getting his speed nearly 1000 times Mach speed. But as a 10-year-old, he also blitzed megawatts that can move as actual electricity, which would get up to relativistic and even light speed. This backs up his combat speeds compared to other characters like other speedsters really, who can combat and move much faster than the speed of light. But Heatblast's firepower is actually even more impressive, with his body being plasma built. His basic heats are casually surpassing 10,000 degrees Celsius. But it gets even hotter as his heats are stated to reach supernova levels of temperature, with some of the species capable of doing that as a toddler. So imagine the heat the teenager or even adult Pyronites can manifest. Even ignoring this, a Pyronite's plasma heat should also just increase through actual age, so yeah. So who would win in a fight? Well, putting their stats against one another, and yeah, it's not really close. But even if they had even stats, I'd argue Heatblast would still take it. Not only do Pyronites have better control of their fire, but are extremely heat resistant. Sure, they can be hurt by fire attacks in terms of attack potency, but not by their own heat. On the other hand, Dabi has nearly ended his own life a few times through his own heat, and Heatblast is hotter arguably as a toddler. Okay, that sounds so crazy out of context! So if they were to fight, Heatblast would have this fight low difficulty, based on how Dabi has no real way to actually contest or even hurt Heatblast. Yeah, I like the character Dabi, he's really cool, but he just doesn't compare to my GOAT here, I'm sorry.